At the moment, we have different standards in healthcare across different countries. We have different price structures in many of them, and we have problems of affordability when it comes to cross-border access for patients. Cost is a major issue and indeed often leads to a sharp intake of breath when personalised medicine is sometimes mentioned. So it is true that keeping the European population fit and healthy is an expensive business, and there are key questions about the cost effectiveness of new and even existing treatments. Yet, personalised medicine is an innovative, speedily growing method of treating patients that uses as much available research, data, and up-to-the-minute technology as possible to provide better diagnostics and follow-up for citizens.
Dennis Horgan, you are the Executive Director of the European Alliance for Personalised Medicine. Do you want to tell us what that's all about, please?
Yes, the European Alliance for Personalised Medicine is a multi-stakeholder platform bringing together 5 groups of stakeholders: the patients, medical professionals, healthcare planners, industry, which includes also pharmaceutical and ICT companies, and the medical community. And the idea behind the alliance is to facilitate an environment for personalised medicine. So rather than having one group of stakeholders saying what kind of policy changes should occur or what kind of legal changes should occur, we bring all these stakeholders together to have a common position. And there we work through different policy areas in relating to big data, translational research, access, and then on the broader regulatory issues of medical adaptive pathways, data protection, which is about sharing of medical data for research, clinical trials, and in vitro diagnostics.
Personalised medicine is a term that may not be familiar to everybody. How long has this term been about, and specifically, what does it mean for the average patient in the street?
I mean, personalising treatment has always been around. I mean, when you go into a doctor, you would ask the doctor. Doctor would listen to your medical problem and then say what kind of treatment you should take. And now you have more, because of development science. You can now you can do scientific investigation and see which treatments will be more effective according to your genetic makeup. And the majority of treatments, only 4% of them are effective. So 60% have no effect on many patients. So personalized medicine is providing the right treatment for the right patient at the right time. So this is in essence what it is. Yeah.
Do you believe that this is the way then that medicine will go as a whole? And clearly it's a growth area. How likely is it to benefit from member state investment, that kind of thing?
Well, as science is moving in this direction, and science is moving in this direction, then the policy will move in this way also. Patients, citizens want the best treatment to have a better quality of life. They don't want lesser treatments. So an industry have an interest in developing these treatments. Scientists have an interest in also developing these treatments, and policymakers have to facilitate this.
I was talking to David Byrne, the former health commissioner, earlier today, and he was essentially, in a nutshell, saying that what personalised medicine is about is better healthcare for all at a cheaper cost. Is this the case?
Yes, if you have better treatments, then there's less sick days. People can go to work, and they're not a burden on society. Often, if treatments don't work, it costs as much giving wrong treatments than better treatments, which has a burden on the health economy.
So we have with us Wolfgang Stein, who is in charge of today's report for PERMED. Wolfgang, would you tell us what it's all about?
It's about supporting the research and the implementation of personalized medicine in Europe and beyond, if possible. So we gave 35 recommendations and 5 challenges. And hopefully, if they put into place, we will foster personalized medicine for the good of the economy and the patients.
And what would you say are the key points that you need to put in place to get this whole thing moving?
The most important is that the researchers talk with each other across the disciplines, and then there's already in the early stage the healthcare system providers, patients, and everybody who is important for the healthcare systems are incorporated in the ideas of research on personalized medicine, so it can be successful given to the patient.
And could you explain exactly who PERMED are, or how many people are involved in this?
coordination and support actions financed by the European Commission for 2 years are 27 partners from 14 countries, and they worked on the strategic research and innovation agenda via interviews, via evaluation of strategic reports on personalized medicine. There were 2 workshops with more than 200 participants of all relevant areas, stakeholders for research and implementation of personalized medicine.
And now we have Luiichi, who's a patient representative. Louis, could you tell us who you represent and how this PERMED report will affect patients?
Well, first of all, I represent Europa WOMO, which is a confederation of 23 countries on prostate diseases. But as patients, we work very closely with ECPC, with Europa Donna, with all of them, because we believe in coordination and collaboration for the patients, for sure. Second, this program, like I told you at the conference, I was very impressed because I didn't know it. I saw the vision of PERMED. They worked about 2 years on it. I asked, it's a very nice, clear document. And I certainly am impressed by the program of EAPM, which are long-time collaborators, because they move in the right direction and they always had what I would say an interest in patient collaboration. But frankly, the most impressed I was today with the presentation of Mrs. Harkin. I think she made a lot of sense in her presentation of accepting the EAPM principles, the vision of PERMED. So I think I'm rather optimistic that we move into the scientific side of medicine. But for me as a patient, it remains a big problem. And that's the other side of the coin. The other side of the coin is personalized, holistic care. And that means social, that means financial, that means reintegration into society. And I think we have to make absolutely sure that people are not white mice, people are people. Difficult to bring them together because of culture, because of economic conditions. And we have to work on that in the European sense. I think there is no way out. And last but not least, I'm always glad for these scientific results. But what the patients ask always at the end of any event, of any trial, is quality of life and cost effectiveness. And if we don't go for cost effectiveness, we don't need to go to Europe because they don't have money. It's as simple as that.
So there are massive problems to overcome, but hopefully this PERMED plan is a step in the right direction.
It's moving in the right direction because there is so much enthusiasm that I think this is the only way that you can achieve result. It's not that you have already won the course. That's different. You compete for the best result, and that's what is important.
David Byrne, it's been 10 years now since you've been Health Commissioner. Clearly, health and healthcare has changed a great deal in that time, and we're all looking to the future now with personalised medicine. Which direction do you think it's taking?
Well, there's been a lot of development over the last 10 years, particularly in the area of science and also in regulation, in trying to accommodate to the development of science. And this is particularly true in personalised medicine. So that's the progress that's been made in the last 10 years, I think. For the next period, I think we need to emphasize more the role of the governments of the member states in the development of personalised medicine, because there's a cost factor involved here, there are budgets involved in this issue, and the cost of medicines, the affordable access for patients to this new technology is something that's of critical importance and is a big political issue. And I don't believe we can make progress on this issue at EU level until the governments of the member states address the question of cost of access to healthcare, particularly this new form of healthcare, which on the one hand does appear to be expensive, but on the other hand the model produces outcomes that ultimately will mean that it will cost governments less because it's targeted therapy. So the medicines will be used by a smaller group of people, but it will be effective, and they will get good outcomes. So there's a lot of thinking to be done by the governments of member states to address how are we going to pay for this so that patients get access to this new technology.